Welcome back, streamers, to another episode of Scream Kingz. I'm TaMon Kane, and you can find me at TaMon Kane on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, and Instagram. I'm here with my fellow kings, Bobby, Michael, and Mark.
Hey y'all, so I just want to say I love our theme song. I always get like super hyped when I hear it. But I'm Bobby Torres with the Z, not an us. Bobby likes to spook you on the YouTube. People under the skiers, a buddy Michael down her, and obviously here. Yay!
I am Michael, and I. Ooh, it's been a minute. I've been drinking already. At Thackeray Binks 86 from the People Under the Skiers podcast. Shut up, TaMon.
That at Beckery. I can't even say. It's like a tongue twister.
Stop making me laugh more. Okay. All right. I'm Mike, and you can find me on Twitter.
He is Michael Anthony, Beckery Banks 86. You can find him at People Under the Skiers podcast and also here.
Thank you, Bobby, for saving this man. You're a true friend because I sat there let his ass flounder. Anyway, my name is Mark, and you guys can find me at Twitter at the Anti-Critic, on Instagram at Midnight Social Distortion and Marco Estes. For now, I have other social media, but we get to that later.
And we are the Scream Kingz. Yeah. Tonight's episode, we're going to dive into a very popular subgenre horror, possession film. So we're talking about from Exorcist in 1976 to Demons in 1985. In recent years, The Conjuring. Possession film movies have a huge mark in the horror genre. So tonight, we're going to rank our top 10 possession movies. But in true Scream Kingz fashion, we have a drinking game. So anytime you hear the word possession, make sure that you take your cup and take a sip with us. So we're going to kick it off with the King's Toast. Cheers. Mark, please. Cheers.
What? It's hot. You try to get us drunk.
You already there.
Yeah, you couldn't even say your name.
It's
Y'all,
a
he was
beautiful
possessed
name
by a
of
poltergeist. He was possessed
He
by
has
a
actually been
poltergeist.
possessed. Yes. So first up, we're going to sort of clarify what we consider possession. So, okay, non-possession, defining possession. Demonic possession is more like The Exorcist. Hello?
Oh, well, I mean, demonic possession.
Sinister.
Demonic, y'all, we live in movies. We give it actually the definition.
Oh, you give definition, Mark. Sorry. Go ahead.
I'm just asking. Okay, I would. Demonic possession movies are those where the body is possessed by a demon or an entity in a specific location. It don't have to necessarily be through a haunted house. It can be through other means. You know, like maybe reading a damn book that nobody shouldn't have read, or it could be them finding a relic that they might get cut by an old relic and it has a possessed spirit in it, or there's witches that are. Oh, the Ouija board, another great example. This is why we don't fuck with Ouija boards. I mean, well, some people don't, but
another definition is what Black people call anything that doesn't have to do with church.
Yep.
That part.
I guess, man.
No, that's true. Like, every time you watch a horror movie, they be like, I don't want that demonic stuff in my house. It's just like, why is horror movie gotta be demonic? It's not always demonic.
Every horror movie's demonic. You know that.
I mean, they do say, my folks used to say, y'all know I'm country as fuck. Y'all know this, right? My folks used to say, you watching all those horror movies, you're letting demons inside your house.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So,
sure.
And I had a conversation
all up in here.
Listen, quick story. They tell me all the time that maybe some of the reasons why you can't sleep and you have nightmares is because you have so much stuff in your house. And I was like, if that was the case, then I'm possessed right now. You know what I'm saying? Sitting here talking to you, I'm possessed right now with this shirt on, or with Michael Myers in my car, so my car is possessed. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, whatever.
I don't remember the last nightmare I got, and then when I do get nightmares, they're like the true crime shit that I mentioned to you guys before. Like I get scared of that stuff, but like horror movies, I don't get nightmares of. So I don't know. I'm desensitized, so maybe that's why.
I can watch Night of the Demons while I'm sleeping. That's like a
Yes.
That's like a what you call it? A calming.
Comfort horror, yeah.
You know, I'm talking about sleep sounds. That's sleep sounds. Let's Shutter or
White noise.
Shout TV or Scream TV be sitting there playing Night of the Demons. I'll put this shit on and go right to sleep.
But that's hard because I'll be saying the lines as I'm trying to go to sleep, and I won't be able to sleep. I tried that before, and I just couldn't go to sleep.
Honestly, I can't really watch things that are too dark before I go to sleep. Because not that I'm worried about nightmares, I do sometimes get them if I watch something too scary. But I try not to go to sleep with that on my subconscious.
I understand. I put on Golden Girls.
Real life is scary enough,
so I can sleep.
Yes.
Oh, that's cute.
So I watch Charmed or Buffy.
Family Guy, South Park,
Sex in the City.
But hell, that's no better. Well, it's sexy.
I do, because they play it on TV all the time. So I just put it on as a marathon on E, and I just put it on and fall asleep to that.
Non-demonic possession is more of when a person does some type of spell and they're able to jump into another body, or a person may have died and their spirit has gone on and they decide to hop into someone's body. They're not a demon. You look confused, Mark.
No, I was just I'm thinking like that's possession, but I'm thinking of I thought you was gonna go with like Megan or
all those things are
same.
So anything non-demonic.
That's a demonic.
That's what I said.
Demonic.
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 Non-demonic. But Megan's not possessing
I see
anyone,
you had a good time at brunch today.
Obviously.
So if the origin isn't from a demon, then it is non-demonic.
That is absolutely correct. So now we got that out the way, and it took forever. But now that we understand, let's start talking about some things about possession. This is ridiculous. Let's drink. Possess. I'm sick of it. So, in each horror movie franchise or possession horror movie, there's always some type of signs or rules of someone that's being possessed. What is some of the common ones that you always notice?
Sweaty. Jittery.
Yeah, I was about to say like twitchy.
Pupils all jet.
Moody. Like edit, like change personality a little bit.
Yeah. I remember in the like they have to be sort of isolated from their family and friends, or they have to be like beat up or just really taken away from their normal behavior. Like in The Conjuring, I think she was just like, he would beat her ass around the house. She was scared all the time.
Taking on characteristics that you usually don't have, like you might be, meek and nice, and then you take on a little bit of you start smoking, you start, being a little bit adventurous sexually and stuff like that, and
you start wearing different clothing. You start smoking. That's a really good one.
I think knowing things you probably shouldn't know.
Yes.
Like for example, if your head is like, if you're talking like Evil Dead, for example, knowing the cards while not watching, or knowing what passage in the book somebody's reading, or knowing something from somebody's past that you shouldn't know at all, but that
or
they're
future,
demon, they know the shit, or future.
Yeah, because in The Exorcist, Reagan, she was in bed and they were having a discussion. The adults at the party were talking. One of them was talking about going to space, and then she came down and said, "You're going to die up there." She was nowhere to be found when that conversation was to be had. So the demon in her was just like, and then she pissed on the floor. So she knew these things.
Queen.
Yeah, she did. What about knowing different languages?
Yeah, Latin.
Wouldn't have any idea.
Where you pick up that Latin from?
Don't worry about it. Arabic and Hebrew? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's when I started dashing holy water on your ass. Like
Pig Latin.
Not pig Latin.
A lack of inhibition, maybe.
Yeah.
It's like they block off any sense of decency. Everything is fucking gone at that point. Everything's a go. I can say and do whatever to you. It don't matter.
And don't they usually have bruises on their bodies or something like that? Like the demons whipping their ass, they try to get their body and stuff. Like, you know.
Like the mom.
I feel like they have to weaken them. They have to weaken them and mentally and physically in order to take over their body completely.
Absolutely. Why do you think some of the ones in our movies have been possessed? Drink.
You said possession. Okay.
It's possessed and we know it. Why do you think some of the more famous
You said
ones
why?
Yeah, the why.
Innocence, maybe
Yes.
innocence is very enticing to a demon.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, a lot of these on the list and on our personal list are all about innocence, or they're going through a time of depression, so their inhibitions are very lowered. They're weak. You know, they could be trying to discover something about themselves. Mr. Jesse Walsh. And then you could be fresh meat for Freddy to come in and, you know, do what he needs to do.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
Yep.
Or Insidious with the we'll go back to Innocence. The younger son. Well, he didn't get possessed in the first one, but the father got possessed, but he was beaten and didn't make it back to his body and all this other stuff. So.
And again, a relic. You could come across something your ass was not supposed to have touched. It might be a homecoming queen crown in the attic of the school. Why we would be up there in the first place to begin with, but okay. You know, it could be you can find something, a mask,
demons,
a book,
a book,
a
mirror.
A mirror.
A mirror is a good one. That's very common. Yeah, a mirror. Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Shit. You could probably. What's another reason?
Just don't touch nothing.
Don't look at nothing. Don't sit there.
You can be a descendant of someone.
You could be what? You could be descended. You could be which means that you could be a conduit or what do you call them things?
That's right, blood to blood.
Yeah.
Yep.
I would hate to be that, like not knowing that I'm like related to somebody that's been involved in some shit before, and now I'm like being fucked up and attacked because of what my family did or my ancestors did. That's crazy.
I didn't know those slaves.
The sins of the father.
Yeah, or
I didn't do anything though.
Or moving into a house that was built on a graveyard. How about that?
Yes. And we should probably also factor in the fact, I don't know if we're going to do this later on, but your body doesn't have to be possessed. It's also going to be your building. Hand, you know.
I was thinking idle hand for a second.
Idle hand. I think that movie from one of the segments from Body Bags where Mark Hamill played the guy that got the eye implant, and it had a whole movie about you getting a blind girl, the eye, you know, where the blind girl got somebody else's eyes, and then she could see everything that the girl could previously see and stuff like that, you know. So, but yeah, I don't know. Do y'all prefer haunted or possessed bodies or possessed houses? I ain't trying to go off track, but I'm just saying.
I mean, I feel like bodies are scarier.
Mm-hmm.
Houses, unless it's Insidious, because Insidious, it wasn't the house, it was the person. And so every time they moved, it was connected to the child. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's more scary. If it's a house, yeah, you could probably simply move out unless they're following you, but that's usually not the case.
I feel like house to me is scary only because I feel like it's not going to let me leave. And we got to figure out how the fuck to get out. Versus if it's just demons, I can somewhat handle that. Versus me not being able to leave a fucking place. And if it's both of them combined, forget it. I give up.
Child. Yeah, I'm still debating on that myself. I'm trying to figure out if I'll be okay trying to fight a possessed house. But there's been a lot of haunted house movies where people thought they got away and then they turned into a room and they were right back where they started.
Exactly.
That shit would fuck me up. I think I would snap right then. I would just fucking snap and I'll be no more after that. Like, Y'all, I'm done.
Even
Will
though
you consider Night of the Demons like possessed? I mean, obviously the bodies are possessed too, but also the house, because every time they would try to leave, they couldn't, except for them going over the wall. But remember, they kept saying there was a gate here. Where's the gate? And they were looking for it. Obviously, that has something to do with the demons. So I feel like Night of the Demons is like a little bit of both.
Yeah, it is.
Yes, that is hellish as fuck. When you sit there, you like, I guess you're gonna bleed blood one way or the other. Either we gonna fuck your ass up, or you gonna crawl over this damn fence in this thorny ass. You know what I'm saying? So you gonna bleed blood. We gonna get your blood, bitch.
Even though Nightmare on Elm Street isn't like in the dreams, I think in my mind that's what it would be like dealing with like a possessed house, because you never know where you're gonna turn up in a fucking dream in Nightmare on Elm Street. You were somewhere in your house, then you in his damn basement, then you in the fucking the beach and sinking in the sand. Like, that's too much for my brain to process. Give me people all day. Give me people.
But I don't know. Like, it's confusing because I feel like even when people get possessed, again, it's connected to the house. Amityville, that house, even though the house itself, it got a lot going on, but when the person gets possessed, I'm thinking about part 2 in particular. When they were trying to leave, they couldn't. The doors were like shut. The fucking windows wouldn't open up. It was really hard for them to leave the house. So I feel like, I don't know, it's hard to like divide the two.
I feel like movies kind of conflate the two just to kind of add to the horror of it, because sometimes I feel like basically it's saying to me, if somebody is possessed, they also can kind of control the environment they're in, and it's not just them.
Yes, especially like you said in Exorcist, where Reagan probably sat there was like, none of you motherfuckers are leaving. Y'all want to exercise me? Let's go, bitch. Let's go. Let's fuck shit up. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's up? But I'll be scared just to come in contact with anybody. I mean, Elvis would. I'm pretty sure that ended up being them. But how would you try to, like, if there was a rule, if you were in a scenario where there was a way to defeat the possession? I was playing Evil Dead, the game, last night. That game is hard as fuck for me. But but you have a way to defeat the demons, but they're gonna try their damnedest to make sure that you don't make that. So would you try would you try to fight? I mean, of course I'll try to fight, but I'm just saying, would you try to collect all the stuff that you need?
I'm calling the God Warrior herself. Like, look, what?
Everyone's speakerphone.
I know I've been ignoring everything you've been saying, but I need you to tell me what to do right now. I know you said rebuke and all that shit, but I need some extra something. I need some tool. So I guess holy water is something. I guess a Bible. I would not know what passage to read from that to fucking get rid of no demons.
I would take the rule, not the rules. What Sister Gloria did, and Night of Demons, and get myself a water gun with some holy water and some rosary, bitch. I'll be squirting those motherfuckers. Get in my way, bitch.
Get out of my way. I would totally try to if I had the book, I'll try to keep the book on hand at all times, because I noticed that in all the all the Evil Dead movies, they would be so far away from the book when shit's popping off.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why would y'all not be near I know the book is scary, y'all done already fucked with it and everything like that, but it would seem like the book will also try to sit there and help your ass get out of the situation. Like, don't let that book get out of your hands, so.
But do they know that? Because they just know that it brought the evil, but do they know that it also gets rid of the evil?
The girl that y'all hate, Beth, in the most recent Evil Dead Rise movie.
You do too.
I don't hate her. I didn't hate them. She was the one who was like, look, where's that book at? Because there gotta be something in there telling me what to do. She's like, put these headphones on and figure this out. Because she was like, at this point, what the fuck else is what's worse? What could happen? Right. What else could happen?
I mean, they did it in 2013 too. Like, what's his name? The one that started it all, Eric. Yeah, and he actually went through and said, well, this is what you have to do to defeat it. You have to kill your sister. You got to burn shit. You got to chop dismemberment, all that different types of shit. So, I mean, they try to, but it's just all about how fast you can do it.
Okay, realistically, though.
Yeah, and you need...
There you go.
How do we know this is TaMon? Hold on.
Right.
Test. Hold on.
Another sign of possession.
We need to
somebody disappears for a minute and then come back.
Gail Weathers is overrated.
Fucking liar.
It's him. Okay.
It's him. It's him.
Fuck you. Oh, I'm back. A little technical difficulties, but whatever. Here we are. What were y'all saying?
We
were talking about what you would do to kind of combat
a possessed
demons,
situation,
or if you come in contact with demonic possession.
Nothing. I'm not here for any of it. I don't want to deal with it.
You have.
It's there. Well, who's possessed?
You have to deal with it.
Yeah.
Hell, to have the damn house.
I'm there. You and that house. You can.
Okay,
but that's if you can leave, though.
We're all in the Night of Demons house. We're locked up in there. Somebody's possessed. What are we doing? Are we fighting? We splitting up, running around, screaming? What are we trying to do? We trying to find some way to get rid of them? Because ain't no book in that house as far as I know.
Is it one of us?
No, not yet.
Okay.
See, that's the thing.
Who it is, because demons take the personality and mix it, I guess, with their own and kind of do extra shit. So, like, for instance, TaMon, all of us would be 4 different demons. Some of us might be more funnier demons. Some of us would be more, violent. Some of us, it depends. I feel like, in Evil Dead, when they got possessed, Linda, she was more of the goofy deadite. She kept fucking laughing. Even though she was getting her ass whooped, she just kept fucking laughing. That would be this one down here. TaMon.
Wow.
So I feel like we would be different type of demons. So it honestly depends on who's possessed and how we handling that person.
What type of demons would we be?
That's a good question.
That's a good question.
I would probably be Ellen.
Cheryl.
Thank you, Cheryl. Thank you. I'm thinking of the actress's name. Okay. Because I feel like I would probably be the one. How can I put this? I don't want to say I'm the most innocent, but I'm the one that would probably be looking for shit. And that's another thing when you have these demonic. I'm not innocent. I'm just saying I'm just the one who probably looking to shit. Like, oh, that's weird. Oh, that's weird. And usually in situations like that, in a demonic possession situation where they're getting possessed one by one, they usually take out that person first because they know what's going on. Like Angela, she was, Suzanne was just standing there with her mouth open, and he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go get this bitch." But the first person she went to was Angela. Angela, like, you talking too damn much. You know what I'm saying? So you talking too much. And I know there's a kinky side of you. And I feel like I said in the previous episode, that Angela, when she was dancing and stuff like that, that was her and the demon bonding. I'm just saying because, it's like, oh, I didn't know you was this day. Okay. Suzanne, move out the way. You're not the queen of the demons now. You're Angela. But anyway,
I thought that was
Angela,
just the demon trying to body out, just to see how fast and how swift it can move. Just testing it out.
All of that. It just seems like yo, you are about this life. You don't realize it. I'm letting you realize it, but you are about this life. You know what I'm saying? So I would probably be the person being like, yo, this feels weird. Don't y'all like? I go off my own, and then TaMon would probably be like, "Oh, Mark is on one of his damn attitude issues right now. Let him be." And I'm sitting there just stewing, like the demons just sitting there like, "Oh, okay." They don't care. They're not gonna. I can easily possess you because everybody knows when you go off your own, you're on your little attitude tick. So that means that they're not gonna think anything twice about it. And I might come back and be like, exactly. We're like, oh, he's fine. Let's play a game.
Yeah.
So what would we each have to act like for the others to know that we're possessed?
Y'all found at the last minute if it was me. Like it should be halfway gone by the end.
That's a good.
Because if it's not your characteristics normally.
If I start dancing.
If you start dancing. Okay.
If I start dancing.
Okay, Angela, for real.
If I start dancing and I'm on beat and I'm not drunk.
Not on beat.
I'd be like, Mark, it's something wrong with Mark.
Mark, I would love to see you do Angela's dance. I would love to see you do that.
Listen, I've dreamed about doing that dance so much. Yes.
You remember, you have to start
know.
against that wall with her back up against the. And she's writhing up and down and breathing.
I could probably get to that. That's the thing. The spinning is the best part of the whole dance to me, because you saw those garters and stuff like that, and I was like, I'm not gay. I'm gay as fuck, but this shit still turns me on. Like, yo, she is giving life. But TaMon, I feel like with you, oh my god, you probably be like, let's say like some type of paraphernalia is not. It probably is like a hindrance to the demon or something like that, and you probably like, I don't feel like smoking right now. I feel like doing something else. I'm like, not saying that you smoke weed all the time. I'm just saying, like, you know, like, or do it like obviously. No, I'm not calling you a junkie whore. Or you could be like what Michael just said, something simple as that. Michael could sit there and be like, Michael could easily be sitting there like, Michael could easily be sitting there like,
I'm cracking up.
Gail Weathers is this, that, and TaMon's like, oh, Michael, I'm like,
I think nonchalantness. If he's nonchalant about something, if he's very nonchalant about everything we're talking about, then I think he might be.
If we talk about Scream, or we sitting there talking about scary movies, like, I'm tired of talking about these slasher films. Let's talk about demonic possessions. And you be like,
my dumbass would probably fall for it though. I'd be like, okay,
right?
Y'all will fall for it. But again, y'all will fall for it, and I'd be like, TaMon, I thought you liked slash. Next thing you know, TaMon be like, Mark, let's speak over here for a second. This I come back out. Possessed.
I'm cracking up.
First of all, now I need to see y'all reenact that scene from Night of the Demons where Angela and Stooge was kissing, and then he's then possessed afterwards. Now I need to see.
Yeah.
I think if I'm really mean, then that's how you can know.
I was letting y'all. Thank y'all for carrying that, because I was about to give a face, and I was like, if I sit there and do that, he could probably like, you bitch, because I'd be like,
I feel that, okay, if I'm extremely nice.
Okay.
No, I'm extremely nice anyway.
I feel like if I'm really mean, because I'm usually nice and I always give everything. I feel like if I'm really mean,
yes, Bobby, you're really mean for sure.
It'd be funny if he starts reading somebody for filth, and then you be like, the next thing you know, his face starts changing mid-read. You like,
oh, I'd be scared.
That would be everything.
Like, the bile be coming out of his mouth. Then we'll take off and start running in different directions.
What are some honorable mentions that we have before we get into our actual list of possession movies?
Okay, since y'all didn't want to bring it up, I'm gonna go ahead and throw out. What was it? Somebody else go first. I hit a movie because I gotta find my movie. Y'all ignored it. Like,
I put Demon Night.
Oh, you took mine. I was going to say Demon Night.
Okay.
Demons 1 and 2.
Of course. Demons 1
and
2.
Go ahead.
I don't.
Nightmare on Elm Street 2.
Okay. Mine, I got 2. Can I throw 2 out there? I'm gonna do 2. Ouija, Origin of Evil, and Killer Party.
Ooh.
What was the last one? Killer Party. Okay.
Okay, what about Halloween 4? The end.
When Jamie she got possessed by evil.
It would be
we need to see her do
they didn't
something
play it through, though.
As the possessed Jamie for it to count, I think.
I mean, she stabbed your mama. Yeah,
she was alive. She didn't die after that.
But it was an evil act.
But we didn't see it.
Yes, we did. And she fell in the tub
with the knife and the clown outfit.
See, if they went, if in the 5th movie they kind of continued with that, maybe it would make sense. But just the end of 4,
exactly.
I was like,
yeah, I agree, because they didn't play with it. You just see her have that moment with her mom, and then that was it.
Can I speak for all 4 of us by throwing out the Fear Street trilogy, which people under the scares just did brilliantly. They just finished doing all 3 of those movies.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Now, if we talked about books, I could talk about the Fear Street Cheerleaders all damn day long. That is an ultimate possession story.
He
But
said that.
go ahead.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What about I'm doing one that may not be so obvious to seem like possession. Get Out.
No,
Oh.
that is possession. That is a good possession. That's part of the we talked about that. You know, the non-demonic
Oh my God.
because
Demonic.
Dynamic.
because you
New
know they
word.
were
New
possessing
drinking
black-
game.
What was it?
Non-dynamic.
Non-demonic.
No, non-dynamic.
I don't know why I keep saying dynamic. I don't know why
No,
the
me
fuck I keep
too.
saying that. But yeah, it would be
Not
under
just-
that category.
Yes.
Jason Goes to Hell? Is that? Or
Mhm.
is that
Yeah.
more extra? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm surprised neither
Jason
one
Goes
of
to
us
Hell.
mentioned Abby or JR's.
I was
JD's
thinking Abby
Revenge.
earlier.
Mm.
I haven't seen JD's Revenge, but Abby, I just saw that last year for the first time. That's a good watch, and I'm surprised more people don't talk about it.
We,
I want to
How
do
about,
we talk
how about
about
Bad Hair?
yes.
Mm.
Bad Hair
Yes.
Possession.
Yeah, absolutely. Come on, Black
Yeah.
film.
Hairwolf.
What about-
Hairwolf.
Mhm.
What'd you say?
Hairwolf.
I don't think I've
We'll discuss it. I'll see you. It's on HBO. It's on Max. Just look for it on. Is it still on Max, y'all? It's still on Max.
I don't know.
don't
It
know.
was.
It's a short. It's a black horror movie short. Black horror comedy short.
Have you-
So,
Have you all seen the Exorcist TV show?
yes.
Yes.
No.
The Exorcist
Go
TV
watch
show
it.
was really good. It was actually really good.
Go watch
They
on
had
Hulu.
they had a great reveal. I don't want to spoil it, but they had a great
Yes.
reveal sort
Shook.
of halfway through that shook everybody.
Shook.
Yes.
Okay. Exorcist.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. And the
Gina
second
Davis
season
is so
was
good in
pretty-
it.
the first-
Yes.
Yeah.
I love Gina
my
Davis.
God.
Yes.
And so was the mother from Queer as Folk.
Yes.
I don't want to say who
Yes.
she played. I don't wanna say who
Yes.
she played, but she was good.
I forgot she was in that.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll
Them
add that to
steps,
my
baby.
list.
And both.
Step.
It's a good watch. I just feel like, and I like how they kind of kept it within they expanded the first season, but then returned back to the initial story and stuff like this. It's a good
Mhm.
show to watch. I just wish they'd have continued on with it because a lot of fans picked. They was giving it. I think we'll talk about it later. I'm sorry. I won't take away from it.
The first season storyline was wrapped up nicely.
Right.
And it became sort of like an anthology of different possession incidences
Cases.
around, the cases. Yeah, that's it. Oh, let's take a drink. I like that idea. Do we like it when children are possessed or when like adults are
Yes.
possessed?
Children are more fun. It's more unexpected. They say, all the demons say shit that they shouldn't be saying, but
Right.
it's just more fun with kids. But the adults are more. Oh shit! Wait, do we count Pet Cemetery? as
Yes.
I was
possession?
thinking that.
Yes.
But I guess
'Cause I guess
possession, zombie,
A demon
like
took over them.
That's true. That's true.
They died, so it's like they took over a corpse.
yeah.
Would we consider
Because
that a proper
Gage-
possession?
Because Gage is obviously not himself. Something evil took
Right.
over him and is wanting to kill, I guess, all of them. It's not like they are themselves. So I was wondering if that would be considered in that.
Yeah. It's hard.
I forgot the question you just
because-
asked. Oh, children. That's why I said.
Children.
Yeah, possessed. Just drink again. I think it is.
But adults are more dangerous, obviously, because they're full height, capable of more shit.
I don't know. Reagan
now.
was fucking stuff up.
And Gage was too. Gage was kind of fast. He was fast. He could hide in small places and
You
leap
don't
out.
kick
And stuff.
that little bitch.
He was jumping from fucking, what is it? Fucking, it was like an egg or
Rafter?
something. Yeah, or something. He just like jumped on top of people and shit. Gaze, yeah. But the thing is, he was so small that he could hide in little places. So, for instance, he was hiding underneath the bed. A full grown adult can't really do that. So he had, slicing people ankles and shit, hiding in the fucking attic, jumping on people and shit.
And using their innocence as a weapon.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I know I'm
Not
cute
fair.
and little.
No
and
fair.
I can use my baby voice.
No
exactly.
Fair. No fair.
Help me. Help me, Annie.
Well.
I'm trying to think of other possession, like children possession.
I don't know if Bloody Birthday counts as possession, but these kids were just fucked up.
They were just evil as fuck. I hate the little bastards. Anyway, but let me see.
What's recent? Russell Crowe did something this year.
The Pope's Exorcist.
The Pope's Exorcist.
Okay, so the little boy and the older sisters got possessed throughout the film too, and so they were pretty rude.
They
Which
were,
is my favorite thing about possession movies.
The mouth.
I love it. To me goes, demons talk real bad. Because Reagan said some really foul things.
Yep.
I mean, I guess that also adds to why maybe children possession may be worse because parents feel like they should be able to save their kids and they're, again, innocent, blah, blah, blah. And they say it's way more fucked up to hear kids saying that than like an adult. Saying that an adult being like, come fuck me, bitch, is not that crazy. But a child saying some fucked up shit is like...
What about the episode of Lovecraft when Tick got possessed in the house at the bottom when they had to exorcise the people from the house? Not your house. We're talking about.
I'm dead.
That deserves a drink.
Sure does.
Now, what happened now?
You
talking about
when Journey Smollett was trying to exercise the house, and then at the bottom, he got possessed for just a moment at the bottom of the house.
Yeah,
in the basement.
In the basement with all the other ghosts.
Yeah.
Oh, that
was
a good episode. Yeah, that was a great episode.
We're missing so many great honorable mentions.
Did Dee get possessed too when she got cut by the what's it? Oh, she just died.
Topsy and
Popsy. Yeah, okay.
She just turned into something.
She was over it. Dee was about to be one badass motherfucker in that next season. I was so mad. Okay, I'm not even gonna get into it.
Yeah, we're not gonna do it. Her and that robotic arm was about to show their ass, and that's all we have to talk about.
In that fucking, what's the name? The Shoggoths or whatever. She had her own personal line. Man, come on. That shit would have been lit. I'm so mad.
It was too much power. It was like, we gave y'all too much power.
Too much power. Y'all black people not going to take over our TV and tell us that we racist. You are.
Prime, Netflix, somebody pick it up and obviously replace Atticus with somebody else because Jonathan Majors is, problematic.
So to wrap up our honorable mentions, let's all name at least 1 to 2 more, and then we'll go to commercial.
Okay.
I have one.
I don't remember who was on
mine is Fallen with Denzel Washington.
Bitch, that is my movie. Don't even.
You're mad. You're mad. You're mad. You're mad. You don't want to go over there? You don't want to go over there? Fine.
Oh my God. That is Mike. Where is it?
You're out of it.
You're out of it.
Out of it. Fine. But Fallen with Denzel Washington, John Goodman is an amazing possession movie. For those who may have not seen it, it's about a detective and this guy can touch people and pass along this certain demonic spirit through different people based off touch. So yeah, that's my movie that I suggested.
Michael,
Sure. Is Jennifer's body on our list? I don't remember. It was on our top 10.
That was mine.
That's a really good one.
So I'm gonna go with Jennifer's body. You
Bitch.
have Megan Fox. Megan Fox. You mad? And
Look who's possessed now. Look who's passed possession on the motherfuckers.
Becomes possessed and becomes a real fine, badass, I guess, succubus / demon who's killing in order to look youthful and vibrant and have energy. And when she don't eat people, she look real decrepit and shit. But it's a fun movie. Don't go in taking it too seriously. And low key, we get a good final girl out of it.
Amanda Bynes. Oh, that's not Amanda Bynes. That's Amanda.
Boy.
But imagine if Amanda was in that role, she would turn it out.
Sorry, Bobby, I can't.
Yeah.
Okay, I have one more. Witchboard.
Okay.
You know, I've never seen that.
Oh, they're good, both of them. Yeah,
I've never seen the second, but the first one's really good.
I saw the second one before I saw the first one, and I saw the third one.
There's a third one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't worry about it.
Leprechaun 3. So one of the characters he gets possessed and start turning into a leprechaun. So I don't know.
I
don't know if that counts. I mean, he's possessed.
Ninja 3, The Domination.
Yeah, okay.
What is that?
Ninja?
It's about the three boys, Rocky, and they
I know what Three Ninjas is.
You asshole. You asshole. No, for those who are not aware, Ninja 3, The Domination stars Lucinda Dickney. If y'all are familiar with her from the Breaking movies, she was the white girl in the Breaking movies. She is possessed by an ancient ninja, and she goes around and kills all the ancient ninjas' descendants of the villains.
Okay, Elektra, we get it. Okay, great. That's my
You old heifer. What?
Okay, Mark. Everybody should go and watch that. You can find that on Tubi.
I think it actually is on Tubi or Amazon Prime. I really do.
Well,
it's an old ass movie though. You know,
it sounds like it. What about The Wailing?
I have never seen that either.
The what?
Oh. Is Session 9 Possession?
I haven't seen that one.
Because I feel like, from what I remember, Session 9 is like, I don't know, some evil entity, but it's like, I remember at the end of the movie. That's what I really remember, is like the end of the movie, the demon or whatever it is telling them like, what the fuck did he say? I live in the weak and the wounded. It's real low key and creepy. It's not over the top scary, but it's like it seeps into your system while you watch it. I'm just going to say it's possession. I'm just going to say that. Watch Session 9.
A session. I like that. What about The Shining?
Yes.
Yeah, that's possession.
It depends on it depends on the book you read or which version of the movie you see. Because some people say it was just a descendant to madness. He was never possessed. I don't know. I don't trust those people though. But you know, hey, I think the hotel possessed his ass like they did all the previous caretakers.
Yeah. And then his ass end up in that portrait at the end of the movie.
Exactly.
Yeah, frozen outside. Sickening. And on that note, we're going to go to a quick commercial, and then we'll be right back.
Video store. VCR horror. There is some graphic violence in this. Psycho killer.
Rhythm Nation.
Rhythm Nation. So like I said previously, one of my favorite things about possession movies is the things that the demons or the people that are possessed that they say. They say some fucked up stuff. So we're going to talk about those things. So the demons say the darndest things. Who wants to go first?
Yes, I have one that was funny to me because she was saying it to her brother. So Mia in Evil Dead, she was like, "Why don't you come down here so I can suck your cock, pretty boy?" I thought that shit is disgusting, but it's funny to me because
What's she saying?
I can't look at y'all and do this. Why don't you come down here so I can suck your cock, pretty boy? And then she's like crawling down the stairs real quick as she's saying it. It's funny to me.
You say that all the time.
I do. Yeah. Basement.
Bobby, basement. What about you, Bobby? What you got?
We're good.
Okay.
So Mike already took one of mine, but I'm gonna go with Reagan and The Exorcist, where she was being a little shady, and she was saying, "Your mother's in here with us, Karis. Want to leave a message? I make sure that she gets it." That was shady because his mother had just died. So why would you say that? So you're just insinuating that your mom's in hell. So that's one of mine. Also, Mike already took one of them, so I'm just gonna say the other one where she said, "I could smell your filthy soul" to Natalie after she was just got done smelling her cooter.
Oh, that's right.
That was just she smelled all up in that area, and then she said, "I can smell your filthy soul." I was like, "Bitch."
A trash box.
And this is not funny, but I quote it all the time from Night of Demons when Suzanne is possessed and she's like, "Run, Judy, run!" I just love that part. That's it.
Judy, run.
Judy, run!
It's funny because she's being shady, like, "Bitch, you're not getting out of here. Just run, girl." It's fine.
Yes.
Speaking of The Exorcist, I'm gonna go with Reagan when she was like, it was a moment when she moved like the nightstand, and he was like, "Do it again." She was like, "In time. Too much display of power." I think that part is so funny to me because she was like, "I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this." Mm-hmm. And then another one from Reagan when she's like, "Tell your God to fuck me, fuck me, fuck me." She was jamming the crucifix in her cooter, as Bobby called it. She was jamming the crucifix up there. And those are my two from Exorcist.
So I love the part where when she's like the part when you mentioned about that when she moved the drawer and when he said, "Do it again," she said, "In time." Her eyes got so wide, like, "Bitch, in time. I do it when I want to.
I'm ready."
Yes.
In time. In time. She was just tired. That's why she didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
But you're right, Bobby. That line about your mother's in here is shady. It's very. Oh, she also said your mother sucks cock in hell.
Mm-hmm. She was coming for his mom.
She was. Hey, Mom, can you stop, please? Mark, what do you got?
One of mine is from Night of the Demons. When they're trapped in the boiler room, and then they were like, "Roger, come open up the door," and he was like, "Fuck you." She said, "Oh, we don't want you. We want the bitch."
We want the bitch.
We want the bitch.
We want the bitch.
We want the bitch.
No, that
Like,
takes me out too. I forgot about that, Mark. that always take me out.
Yeah. So if those watching in the comments, let us know some of your favorite ones that you have, some of your funny lines of demons. Mark, was that it?
I'm trying to decide if I was going to go with a Chucky quote, but I mean that's a different form of possession because it's not funny, but it's to me it wasn't funny, but it was just like Chucky's going to be a bro. Like, think about it. Chucky's going to be a bro. He's going to try to possess. But he's going to try to possess little Tyler. I'm like, what?
Chucky's going to be a
How
bro.
interesting it would have been if Chucky got to be black in that movie. That would have been very
problematic as fuck.
Very problematic.
That's blackface, and I don't know if we support that. So.
No.
No, we do not.
Chucky has probably some of the best one-liners.
Oh, yeah.
Andy, come out, wherever you are, you little shit.
Shit. Yes. Or, wait a minute, I got one. ugly doll. Fuck
Fuck
you.
you.
You stupid bitch, you
Lord.
filthy slut.
Slap
I'm gonna
my-
get you out
You stupid slut. You put your.
Low key, he may have the most quotes of any
Yeah.
fucking possessed.
Chucky went in.
He did.
Every
She was
time
trying
he's
to
about to
burn
kill
him.
somebody. Nothing like a little strangulation to get the circulation going.
Yes.
When she was trying to burn him, he had enough of that mama.
Yes.
He had enough.
He was so over Catherine. Then he was like, "Bitch, I will fuck your life up."
Possessed. I think we need a cocktail drink. Let's go.
Yes.
Cheers. Michael, please.
Is there anything left in that cup?
And mine?
Michael's. Mikael's.
Miguel Myers. You leaning. I love it. So we might as well get into our top 10. So let's chop this list up. So our top 10 possession films. Ooh. The Exorcism of Emily Rose. Now, this is one of my personal favorites. Deborah did amazing in this film. I can't think of her last name, but she did absolutely amazing in this film. And her line, she's like, "Don't touch me," is one of my favorite parts of this movie. It's more like a law courtroom, true crime-ish feel, but she has some really powerful scenes in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
I remember seeing this in high school, and I was so obsessed with this movie. Like, so obsessed. It literally freaked me out. Especially the scene when she was in a barn and she started naming all the names and stuff like that. That took me out.
Yeah. Well,
The ultimate,
the iconic
Queen,
Grand Dame,
What's that?
Grand Dame, excuse me.
Child's Play, an excellent special effects. It packs a wallop.
Leonard Maltin. I can't pronounce. I can't see who said that. But yeah, Child's Play was one of those movies that really shook up a lot of people, especially given the fact that this came out around the same time as what the Cabbage Patch Dolls were popular, and My Buddy and Kid's Sister and all those. Let's just say my parents told me, if Chucky ever starts talking to you, tell us, and we'll take care of it, because they were not having it. Mama saw that movie, she was like, I was walking around the house with my little My Buddy doll. She said, "He ain't talking to you, is he? He ain't talking to you, is he?" I'm like, "No, Mama, he ain't talking to me." "Okay, just checking." So by that time she didn't realize I was like a budding horror fan. So if he had to start talking to my ass, I'd probably been like, "Chucky, I'm not gonna do that. That's bad."
Bobby, don't you have Chucky?
Yes. But he's covered with some things. He's in his box.
Is he?
Yeah, he's in his box.
Or is he right beside you? You never know.
You say he's covered up. Are you sure he's under the box?
No, he's in his box, but there's things on top of the box. Yeah, I can't.
Okay, so he's okay.
So he can't get out right now.
He can't come out and play.
No.
Okay, now this universe it has its hit and misses for me, but the first Conjuring was really, 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 really good.
Yeah,
and I can't remember her name. She was in The Haunting, and she played
Lily Taylor.
Lily Taylor. Mm-hmm.
Lily Taylor. She was phenomenal, and she was the one that got possessed. Because normally you think it's about the kids. The kids are going to be possessed. No, ma'am. We're after this mama, and she had bruises. She was tore up. She was tore up in this bed upstairs, and she was the one that was possessed. If you haven't seen this movie, you must have been sleeping under a rock. But The Conjuring is a great possession story, because you don't even think that's what the story really is about until that's what happens.
Mm-hmm.
the jump scares, that tree scene, the scene when she's in the basement and that fucking stack starts to rip. You start to see her face. So creepy.
The scenes that hit me actually is the scenes with the kids, because it's very something that we've all experienced. Like, you feel like something is there, but you can't really see it. It's night, or you're hearing noises. The fucking scene where the mother's looking through the house and then the fucking pictures fall and the frames fall off the fucking wall. She acting like, who's in this house, bitch? Nobody was there. But actually, the more subtle scene to me that scares me is the moment where she's doing laundry.
Yes.
Or the what's her name is doing laundry. And then one of the sheets falls off the line, and then it's a figure of a person. And then it flies into the window, and then you see a figure of the spirit in the window. Shit like that is what gets under my skin.
Is this one the clap game? Is this one where they play the clap game, or is that the second?
Yeah, that's this movie.
It's this one,
which they ruined in the trailer.
Yeah.
They got to keep some stuff out of the trailers, because that trailer ruined that moment.
But I still feel like you had other scares to. Like we had that years in the trailer, but we had a whole bunch of other scares that kind of, made us feel satisfied. Like the scene that you just mentioned with the bed sheet.
James Wan knows what he's doing, so I just like anything that he puts out. So he knows his shit.
Yeah.
He solidified himself as a top horror director with
absolutely
this one.
Yes,
in my opinion.
No, you're right.
So I'm gonna say The Conjuring is one of the movies that made me cry. And one of the horror movies that actually made me tear up. And that was during the scene where the exorcism was happening, and what's Ed Warren was doing his thing, and I feel like it was just that I teared up during that whole moment. For some reason, I was just so into the damn moment that I teared up, and it kind of like, I was like, damn, horror movie made me cry. Jesus.
Yeah, it's effective. I mean, especially when you get connected to Lily Taylor's character, because she has this moment with her children when, they're at the beach and stuff like that. And then Lorraine is like, remember this moment? And it becomes like a whole sad situation at the end.
Yeah.
It was effective.
Very effective. And next. Was that fine? Hello, Mary Lou. So this one was really fun. I rewatched it recently, and I had a good time. Mary Lou was a bitch, so she was my type of demon, or whatever she was at that moment. So she was really fun. It was campy, but that's the time period that we were in. Mary Lou wants to be prom queen, even if it kills her again. So this is the movie where we talked about earlier how do you get possessed. She had her crown in this chest, and I think the theater storage room or wherever it was. And the main character, she finds the chest, and then she gets taunted throughout the movie. And then they have this really cool scene where she's subconsciously is in class, and then she gets sucked into the chalkboard. So it was a really cool way to show how they switch spots, how she sort of Scarlet Witched and kept her at bay. Oh, that's a good possession movie, Multiverse of Madness. But how she sort of kept her at bay while she took over her body.
Yes. I love Hello, Mary Lou. It's so different from the first movie. Like, it's nothing like the first prom night at all. It just go way left.
Scream needs to do the same thing. I'm just saying.
Possession of Maureen. I would love to see what Samantha would be like if she got possessed by Maureen.
No, she'd be possessed by Mrs. Loomis, because Mrs. Loomis is like, bitch, this is my blood. You're not going to take this with me either. You took my son. You took my fucking husband. I'm not going to take this either.
That movie would be canceled so quickly if they went supernatural. And I'll be the first one.
Yeah.
I will say one of my favorite possession lines, and it comes from Hello, Mary Lou, when she goes, a wop, bam, doo, bop, and bop, bam, and she comes a little closer. She pressed the girl.
And this movie, all the movies after the original deal with possession, but they just get worse and worse, or campy or cheap, whatever you want to call it, however you classify it. They just get worse and worse and worse, like the third one, the fourth one. And I think the third and the fourth was almost like parodies of the second one to a degree. But they're fine.
If I remember correctly, because I've only seen this once, I tried to see if I could get the Blu-ray of this, and I think it was not easy to get. If I'm remembering correctly. Because it was a fun watch.
Yeah, it is. Like Bobby said, it has nothing to do like the original, because the original was a straight up slasher. And I don't know how you jump from this to that, so someone's gonna have to break that down for me.
I'll probably say something a little fucked up. I like this movie more than the original movie.
I don't think that's fucked up. I think that they're two of the same. They're two great iconic movies, but from different, eras in horror. I feel like they can both stand on their own, but they just don't complement each other.
Yeah, I say Hello, Mary Lou is more rewatchable than the first Prom.
Right.
Like, I'll go back and watch this one. Like, you're right. Like, they're both iconic, but I'll always go back and watch this one before I watch the first one. Kind of similar to the Sleepaway Camp movies. Like, I like the first one, but I always go back and watch part 2 and 3 because I have more fun watching those compared to the first one.
Yes. And I think one of the reasons, I'm going to throw out there a technical reason for me, Prom Night, until they find a damn good copy where they can remaster it, because I don't care what version you find, it is dark as fuck, and you just sit there squint throughout the entire movie because it's so dark. But with Hello Mary Lou, it's like, it's dark but it's bright, at the same time. And the only thing all four of these movies have in common is the fact that they all take place at Hamilton High.
Yeah. Which is almost Fear Street-ish, because it's like telling stories about how this school or this town has all these different things that's happening. So it does work. This instance, that it was a slasher. The next one, it was a possession. They just leaned into the possession for the remaining of the sequel. So it works. Do we think this one deserves a revisit?
I would say, yeah, but at the same time, no, because I don't want them to mess up something so good. Like, I don't want them to try too hard to compete with this one. I think just leave it as it is. We don't need a reboot or a remake or anything.
Like Prom Night?
Yeah.
Yeah, if anything needs another reboot, it's that one. I don't
They have one.
Well, the reboot of a reboot, because this one is fine. That other one is a hot ass. Somebody worked on that. It wasn't my cup of tea. Let me say that.
There you go. Well, the reboot to Prom Night, it wasn't my cup of tea either. I don't know. I don't know.
I was upset when I saw the reboot or the remake, because it really wasn't a remake. I don't even know if they took place at Hamilton High, but the movie just did not deliver.
Nope.
It was so. It's like what Bobby said earlier. There's a lot of movies out there that could get a little shine today, like lesser known movies. They dropped the ball with that one. There wasn't that many kills, and I don't know. It
needed to be rated. It just needed to be rated R, and just because, I mean, I like PG-13 movies, but that one needed to be rated R, and the plot. The writing wasn't good. It was bad writing. So I think they just need to, yeah.
The casting was okay.
Yeah, the casting was, yeah.
I even like the black girl as what's her name from the original, the chase scene from the original.
Lisa.
Yeah.
Wendy.
So the black girl played that character, and her scene was okay, but it still didn't compare to the original one.
Right.
So yeah. So that's that. And next. Okay. This franchise, they have probably a lot of great hits, but they do have some ones that are trash. When this came out, this was some scary ass shit. I remember watching Paranormal Activity in the movie theaters and then going home. Like, did you hear that? I heard that too.
Yes.
So this movie,
I was paranoid as shit.
Yes. And it's almost how, you know how Final Destination, that truck scene, how that sort of shifted in America. This movie has that same feeling because, like, the sheets being pulled off, the doors opening, being in those spaces. This movie was just absolutely amazing.
And just hearing noises, like you're in your room, sleep, minding your business, and you hear that downstairs, and you hear like thumping and just unusual noises. You know, that's why I get paranoid. Like, I always put my TV on mute if I just hear nothing, and I just keep it on mute for like a good 5 minutes just in case. But yeah, this movie got me together when I seen it in the theaters because, like y'all, like I was just hearing noises everywhere. I was a little paranoid, and I was actually scared of this movie. It was pretty scary, you know.
Yeah.
So like, imagine just sleeping, right, and then something just pull the covers off and then slowly drag you from the bed and just drag you down the steps. Like, that's terrifying.
For me, one of the worst moments I could think of is like if I have these cameras set up and I think something's happening, but when you actually review the footage and you see this shit happening, I have nothing. Like, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done.
The footprints.
That was hands down the worst scene for me, or the best, is the moment where they wake up because they hear footsteps walking in, and then the demon just runs out, and then the door. That to me gave me chills.
Yes,
but like y'all is saying, like when I went home, first of all, I was by myself when I went home. I couldn't sleep. I distinctly remember that was the first time I had sleep paralysis, was after watching that movie. Because I remember dreaming. I was in my room. I'm hearing myself. I was in my room in the dream. I saw something and I was rebuking it because that's what my mama told me to do. I woke up and that's when like I was stuck, couldn't move, even though I was awake. And that scared the fuck. I was like, oh, maybe this shit is real. Maybe it is real, bitch. I don't know. I don't know. This movie scares the fuck out of me. It's so simple.
It is.
But the impact of it is great.
Yeah, I co-sign everything everybody else said.
That was so in-depth, Mark. Thank you.
Right. What was your experiences, Mark?
I mean, when I first saw it, I was at home. I had bought the Blu-ray and I watched it, and I was also, but see, I always used to hearing noises in the house, so it kind of didn't freak me out. I think the scene that really freaked me out was the very end when his body comes back to the camera and bashes it, because I wasn't expecting, because you sitting there just waiting for something to happen. And then all of a sudden, boom, and you're like, oh shit. You know what I'm saying? Because they want you to lean in to try to see if you can hear anything, if you can see anything. And then all of a sudden, when you get to that right level of leaning in, that's when they just throw something at your screen. It's like, this movie is the one that kind of gave me, when it comes to found footage, it really elevated the jump scares in found footage films. Like, you have to have a decent jump scare because you know people are going to be trying to suss out what's going on in front of them in the little darkened camera and everything. So that's how I look at it, you know. So
it delivers in both the jump scares and the subtle shit. Like, even just use, like TaMon, you saying reviewing the tapes, y'all both sleep, but you see a fucking light come on in the background and turn off. First of all, why y'all still there? Second of all, I'm leaving you, bitch. That's just end the story. That is not a thing that's going to be happening. I'm not staying here. Matter of fact, you leaving. You and this thing can leave.
You're going to kick the girl out.
Don't do Toby like that. Toby was trying to get some attention, and he possessed Kate. Is that her name?
Katie.
Yeah.
Katie. He possessed Katie. And let me say, I think it's Paranormal Activity 2, or it could be the end of this one. Whenever she had that baby and Katie walked in that room and pushed her ass into the wall.
That was scary.
Ooh, it was so funny. But
that was scary.
This is one of those movies that will be fun in like 4D, where you have like the sound effects all around you and like the air blowing around you and all of that.
Yes.
Yeah, this would be really good if they brought this back to theaters, and go back to this one, because the new one that they came out with was not found footage and it wasn't that good.
Yeah.
It's trying to be something it wasn't.
I like that you said for, yeah, like the something of Ken, next of Ken. or something.
Next can.
Yeah,
I
but
still
the
haven't seen
4D
it. I always started.
the 4D thing with this would be dope because you like so this movie doesn't have a soundtrack because it's supposed to be like found footage, so it doesn't have music. But when the demon is around, it's like this vibration that you hear. It's like this little rumbling. So that would be so dope. No,
Stop.
It would be so dope if we were in the theater and then our chairs start to vibrate every time we hear that vibration and let us know that the demon is somewhere around. That would be crazy.
Yes.
It's one of my favorites, honestly. It really is.
Yeah,
and I don't care what nobody say because I know there's a lot of people who don't think it's scary. And I'm like, even the movie doesn't necessarily have to be scary, but if you go home and are impacted by the movie, it did its job.
You're gonna be thinking about it.
Yeah, and like for me, like you, I think Bobby mentioned, we're sort of desensitized to just horror in general. But for me to get scared, I have to imagine me in that scenario. And me in this scenario, I would I would be terrified and probably not be able to have action at all. So whatever's there it has won already. So that is that.
And the fact that they didn't.
I haven't watched Paranormal Activity and you think it's one of those movies that, you should just pass by. Don't do that to yourself. Go home, turn up the TV really loud, cut off all the lights, or do like Michael and put on your headphones and watch the movie and enjoy it, and you'll see. And next.
Hold up, Mark was saying, oh.
All right, so we have covered in our 10th spot, Exorcism of Emily Rose. Number 9, Child's Play. 8, The Conjuring. 7, Hello, Mary Lou, Prom Night 2. And obviously one of our favorites as a whole, number 6, Paranormal Activity. So let's shift into our top 5.
I know we're not arguing because Child's Play at number 9 is crazy to me, but this is just a list, right?
Yeah, sure. Sure, it's whatever. It's a list.
Woo!
Angela is having a party. Jason and Freddie are too scared to come. Well, you'll have a hell of a time. You're invited to my party, Angela. Not in
This is the movie besides The Lost Boys and A Nightmare on Elm Street that made me a huge horror fan. This was one of the first movies that I will re-rent. I'll go to the video store and rent again and again and again. And my parents would be like, "Hey, there's tits and ass in it, so he must be. He must be watching for that." No, I was watching for Angela's ass, fucking up folks left and right. Oh my God, why have we been sitting here doing this show, and I've been leaning in and talking to this mic. This fucking t-shirt has the bit of reflection coming through the damn black part of the screen. And I've been jumping. I don't know if y'all been noticing me jumping every 5 minutes because I'll be too into what y'all saying and look over and see her face. And it just scares the fuck out of me. But hey, Angela is queen. She's queen. I love her. I love everything about this movie. I can quote it from point A to B, even to the old woman saying "Happy Halloween, dear" at the end. I mean,
do you have sour balls?
We sure do. Too bad.
Mark, go ahead.
Mark, this is definitely one of you. Since I've known you, this has been one of your favorite movies. Since I've known you, this has been one of your favorite movies. So what about the reboot, the remake?
It was cute.
About that.
Shannon Elizabeth.
She tried.
Okay, yeah, she tried, but you could clear. I don't know if that was actually her under the makeup. It's like you didn't give your all. And let's just say it was a cute movie. I'm thinking like it was more of a reboot. It was a more of a remake to that movie, The Covenant, than it was the Demons.
So I remember having like a watch party for both of these movies, and I think some people that was in our watch party enjoyed actually watching the remake more than this one, just because they felt like it was more fun than this one. I think for us it's because it's nostalgia and we grew up on it and we enjoyed it. And I will say, even though the remake is not that great, it is a fun movie. And you can it doesn't take itself too seriously. Like
Right.
it knows that it's not trying to copy the first one too much, except for maybe like 1 or 2 scenes. But even they take those scenes and try to reinvent it and do something else. But I think they try to do something completely different and just try to have fun. And I think that's why I appreciate it. But it's still not that good of a movie.
Yeah, everything Bobby just said, I co-sign. I do own it though. So
yeah.
Any favorite moments
in this? All right, so I didn't grow up watching this one. I grew up watching part 2 first. And I didn't see this movie until like 2010 or 11 because they never played this on TV when I was growing up. It was always part 2. And I used to always see this in the video store, but we just never got it.
Yes.
So when we finally, I remember my aunt had never seen this because she's one of the people that introduced me to horror. I bought this movie for her on DVD. And I said, you know what? We're going to watch this together for the first time. And she said, let's go. We watched this movie for the first time and we was just gagging at every fucking thing. And then the scene when she was going down the hallway gliding, we was like, that's the same scene in part 2. They just copied it and put it in part 2. So I said, now I know why it looks a little different. But I actually like this so much better than the second one, even though I love the second one because I grew up watching that one. This one, I just had so much fun. The lines are amazing. The characters are great. The music, just everything about it. Like you have to watch this during Halloween every year.
Iconic.
I'm one of the few. I was going to say that this is the movie that I tend to use as a litmus test on how much of a horror fan someone is. And it's not a gatekeeping exercise. It's just that when people say they love horror, to me, they usually go to like Freddy. Like they say, oh, I've seen all the Freddys. I've seen all the Michael Myers. I've seen all of the Chuckies and this. So have you seen Night of the Demons? What's that? And I'm like, ooh, baby, you need to watch Night of the Demons. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm thinking like, you go to this, then you probably do an even more deep dive into a lot of stuff out there that you're probably not aware of. But like Bobby, they played this all the time late at night on Cinemax. And when it didn't play on Cinemax, they would have it. I would go to the video store and get it. And I remember going to the video store and seeing the marquee for Night of the Demons 2, and I damn near pissed myself. I'm like, oh my God, they made another one. I cannot wait to watch this one. But for some reason, it was always checked out. And then Cinemax was like the premiere of Night of the Demons 2 tonight. I'm like, thank you, Jesus. So I was so excited for this. But then going back into them dropping part 3, I was like, okay, good. Ill.
3?
Don't do the cat demon like that. The cat demon was all right.
The best part, I think, was the cat demon.
The fact that it wasn't the same house, though, y'all. It was just like, okay, really, y'all, really. And her dress wasn't even like, it was just like a cat suit. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, where's her wedding dress? This is not a.
I mean, look, you can only do what you can do. So at that point, if they didn't have the resources to make you, it's hard to follow up that first movie. Like Mark, you're saying use this as a litmus test. I suggested this to somebody and he said it was horrible. And I was like, oh, baby, you don't got to worry about me suggesting nothing else to you. Because if you don't like this, you are definitely not going to like nothing else I suggest. So do not ask me nothing else. I fucking love Night of the Demons. It is fun. It is campy. There's a lot of people dying. You got a fucking final boy who is not about some shit. He's about surviving. I love it. And you have Angela and Suzanne. I think the other movies you don't really have demons that stand. I mean, Angela's in the other ones, but they don't stand out in the same way like in this movie.
Right? They have character.
Yes.
Yeah. I like when she was putting on lipstick and she put the lipstick through her nipple.
When we first seen that scene, oh my gosh, I couldn't. And again, I watched this a little later than y'all, but I still was like, yo,
it's still
did we really just watch that? What the fuck? I've never seen anything like that before. So I'm just like, did she just really stuff a fucking lipstick in her titty? Like,
but y'all, the fact that even up until you got access to special features and shit like that, I was still trying to figure out how did they achieve that? How do they do that? Because it looks just like her breast. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
it's a little shiny now. Like, when you look at it, it's a little.
Yeah, it's a little.
No, you can. I swear, Linnea got a titty full of lipstick, as far as I'm concerned. And
To this day,
she's committed to the role. She is that committed.
Well, I always want to know:
Here
can you actually do that? Can you actually take lipstick and push it through your nipple?
No, clinically, I don't think so.
So
if you apply enough force to something, maybe I don't know. Not in that way, I doubt.
No,
I can do that.
You're not human if you can do that shit. I'm sorry.
That's a sign of possession. If you're at a party and somebody does this shit, everybody needs to get this shit up and go. They need to pick up their shit and leave. Like, yo, TaMon just put a damn
now I got a question. Because I've seen people put flashlights up their booty holes and shit at strip clubs.
All right, next movie. Next movie. Is
that a sign of possession as well?
That's all right.
Mike got a confession.
Next movie, the most ferociously original horror film of the year, says Stephen King, author of Carrie and The Shining. So we can't debate that. He said it. So
at all.
Sure. I actually saw Evil Dead 2 first, and then I saw this one.
Same.
And as much as I love this movie, and it is absolutely, it is everything he said, the 2013 Evil Dead, I don't know if it's fair to say this, so don't slay me. I actually prefer watching that one versus the original Evil Dead.
I'm not gonna throw any shade at you for that. No, that's understandable. It's a different vehicle. I mean, it's the same field, but it's a different vehicle because what Jesus, my mind went blank then. What Sam Raimi did with the original, he did with like a little bit of money. It still was effective. You know, a lot of the scares were still effective for 1981,
something like that.
And so then you get the remake, or not the remake, but the reboot, the 2013 version, and they threw money at that, and you can see it because there's tons of scenes that they could have easily went computerized special effects. They kept this shit practical.
Yep.
To the point where you were squirming at every little dismemberment or cut. I mean, the whole, and I always, we talked about this. The 2013 trailer is, to me, one of the best trailers ever made, because when she sat there and took that damn razor blade and was going through her tongue, I'm like, how is she doing it? How the fuck is she doing it? I was still squirming, just like, oh my God. But this one, got it. yeah, got it. Like, that's just iconic. And I hate they took it out the damn movie. I do have the uncut version though. But this one, when Cheryl is taken into the woods and she's, assaulted, and then she comes back, you just thinking like, okay, she has survived this ordeal, so she's in a, but when they start playing them cards as if shit had not happened, like the bridge ain't out, as if shit ain't happening. When Cheryl starts reading them cards, it's the scariest thing ever. And I told you guys that my mom usually laughs at folks when their faces change and shit. Not with this movie. My mom was terrified to the point where she picked my ass up, because I was still like a toddler. She picked my ass up and took me back to the video store down the street and returned the movie that night. She said, I don't want this in my house. She said, no. She said, no. This is the only movie. Yeah, this is the only movie that has ever scared my mom. That lets you know how powerful it is. Everything else she'll laugh at.
Wow.
Oh, shit. I mean, I can see that first scene with Cheryl, like when she turns around and she starts to float right there, and then her voice changes. Like, I can see why your mama was like, oh, hell no. Taking it back to the video store. Not today.
I understand people liking the reboots more just because there's more going on and shit throughout the movie. But this one definitely is more creepy to me versus the other one. To me, is just way more violent. I mean, other than the scene where she's like in the mirror flicking her tongue, other than that, I wasn't really scared watching that movie.
She was doing what, Mike? What was she doing?
I'm not doing it again.
Do it again.
In time.
That would be a good ad. there'll be a good ad to put on the show to bring all the boys to the yard.
Yes.
You're
You on
muted.
mute, sorry.
I said I did not give 100%. Y'all can't use that as an ad. I would have to fully commit if y'all gonna show my tongue game on here.
Well, can you
So-
commit?
No,
Okay.
But yes, I love Evil Dead. The reboot is cool. This one just it just, and usually that's the case with me with movies in the 80s that just feel a little more authentic than the ones that have a lot of money now that are just
Yeah.
trying to recreate it.
I think
And that
the idea of
laughing
being-
one.
Oh yeah.
I think the
Linda.
idea of it being original gives it a lot more points too versus an actual remake of it. Because the remake, you already know the concept, what's going to happen. It's like some of the beats, but in the original, it was that. It was fresh. It was new. Mark, you mentioned the assault that takes place in the woods. I want to sort of pivot a little bit in the assault that takes place in Evil Dead Rises in comparison to this one or even 2013. Because I didn't think she went through anything in the elevator.
No.
But
There was
I
no
think
salt really in the elevator.
was
in my
it
intentional.
opinion.
wasn't,
I'm
and
sure.
it was because I mean the time period we in. Because I remember
Yeah.
people telling me one of the things that they don't like about the original Evil Dead is this scene. 'Cause it made it look like almost comical in a degree because the way
Really?
I was more
the way the stick.
uncomfortable than anything.
Well, to me it was uncomfortable. But when you hear the stick go when the stick inserts itself, it sounds like a bloop. You know, so a lot of
I
people
didn't
laugh.
hear that.
You know, so a lot of people laughed when I showcased it at my college dorm. They were like, "Whoa!" They were started laughing, and then I was like, "That was actually when I realized that she was raped by a tree." I didn't realize that beforehand because I was too busy doing this number right here until I got to college. And was like, "Man up, you gotta watch this, these folks." And so I was like, "Oh, she got raped by a tree," and then. But another thing about this movie is the fact that it didn't let up. There was no time to rest. It was just an ongoing onslaught. Every time you turn somewhere, something was going wrong. Like, when I forgot the girl, what's his name's girlfriend, when she went to the next room after they had to sit there and
Shelley?
it's like she went in there into the glass, like they're like, oh, what's happened to her? Like, like they go check on her, she's turned. Then you turn around and Linda's turn. It's just like we don't have time to just take a breather and just try to figure out what the hell is going on. And I feel like that is what they say, like the ultimate experience in grueling terror, because it's like you don't have time to sit there and think and be like, what did we do? They didn't have time to do that. You know what I'm saying? It was just like everybody's dropping around us and everybody's turning some crazy shit.
Turning up looking crazy.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's why it's so good.
And I think Evil Dead is that's what they do. If you realize in all the movies, like once shit starts, it just keeps going. Like it just keeps, like it doesn't, like, I mean, obviously it ends, but it's just like once you're there, it's nonstop violence all the way. The scene in particular in this movie, the pencil, when Linda got it in the ankle and then it lingered and Cheryl's like twisting it and just like, so good.
Even the position, the camera shot, just this.
Yes.
All of it. And I think they lighten up in the most recent one, Evil Dead Rises. I felt like it had their own, the original and even the reboot. It was completely different because we always laugh about that cheese grater that they made us think was important, that she got a little scratch. In the original one, they would have had her whole leg fucking.
Her whole leg would have been torn the fuck.
It would have been
up.
enough for mac and cheese. That's how much they would have graded off that leg.
Absolutely.
If it was 1981 and the 2013 Deadites, they would have kept going with that cheese grater until they seen like flesh coming off those fucking the holes. Like they would have went in.
She would have been deboned. All that meat would have been off there.
We could have had a little girl Deadite. I was just like, why did y'all not
Miss opportunity?
Missed it. Yep.
I don't
They
want
played it
that
safe.
out.
She would be possessed, not dead.
Yeah.
I mean,
she
she'd
could
be
go
dead.
back.
Yeah.
Like they did it before. Ash he became a Deadite. He turned human. Mia a Deadite turn human. So they could have did that with the little girl. They could have actually had her fucking up her family, and then she turned back human and realized all the shit she done, and she's just a little girl. So that would have been even more fucked up. But
yeah,
that's a good point. That's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
I think I was I told y'all my review for the movie that I was just looking at her as my niece because she reminds me so much of my niece, and I was like, "Oh, please don't do it to that poor child."
Children can get possessed too. Let's go.
Okay.
And we know she weak-willed. She opened that damn door. My movie.
So
this movie better be that decent.
I can't read that font, but it has a nice tagline: "Prince of Darkness." Michael, tell us about Prince of Darkness.
Prince of Darkness is a part of the what was it? The Apocalypse trilogy of John Carpenter. So you have The Thing, you have Prince of Darkness, and then In the Mouth of Madness. And you see Donald Pleasance in here as right now. So basically, you have some students going into this church, and there's this green liquid, and the green liquid is essentially Satan. And then it gets released, but then it turns into this weird, like, zombie / possessed movie towards halfway through. You got homeless people outside fucking everybody up who try to come outside. It's insane. And I fucking love it. And I did not watch this or even know about it until maybe 7 or so years ago. And I watched it one day and I was like, this is high up there for me. Like, I love The Thing. Prince of Darkness is really high up there. It's just the overall atmosphere of it. It's very Carpenter. The music, the feel of it. You need to watch Prince of Darkness if you have not watched that movie.
It is a beautiful.
I agree with you. It has Carpenter tone written all over it, from like the slow build up, because in the beginning it's really no words. It's just like scenes and his creepy ass music, just showing how people connect. He has this cool way of showing like character interaction to let you know who these characters are without any words. And so you get to meet some of the students, and you get to see that he has a crush on her, and he don't like that she's hanging out with this guy, and it has all these things that are happening without any words at all, which I thought was weird. But when I took a step back from it, I was like, this was actually sort of genius. It's a cool way to do character development. The music, very John Carpenter. The angle, the cinematography, John Carpenter. His stamp is all over this. And then Donald Pleasance, he's been in more than Halloween, people. Okay, so
thank you.
He was great in this. He was actually sort of funny, especially when he was squished up against the wall in one part of the movie. But the movie, like Mike was saying, is these kids, and they go to not kids, but these. I assume they're grad students.
Yeah, grad students.
Age, yeah.
I think older.
They definitely old. Well, I mean, it's the time period where people looked older because of the way they dressed and shit, but they're definitely like grad student age.
Yeah. And these grad students go to this church, and they find this green ass liquid. Mike, you said those homeless people outside of the church, I don't even know what type of cult they was a part of, but you couldn't do anything. I remember when the male protagonist, he tried to jump out the window, and then they sort of like came like, where you going? He hopped his ass back in that window so quickly.
Yeah. There's a fucking rock star that's the main one. I forgot his name.
Alice Cooper.
Thank you. Oh.
Yeah, this
he was
movie,
leading them.
Yeah, it's great setup, TaMon, about how it comes on. Because it comes on as if it's just a regular day. And I think that was the point of them doing it, is that everybody is going about their day like ain't nothing going on. Like there's not this big, event that's about to pop off. And you see the thing about the priest that died. He kept, I'm not trying to spoil anything, but just like you see something that's rising, and you try and figure out when it's going to pop off. And of course, they go in there and they find a source of the situation, and then the movie tries to explain everything it's like taking the combination of both science, math, and religion and combining it all together to explain exactly what's going on. I did pull up this poster, and I do see what it says. It says, before man walked the earth, it slept for centuries. It is evil. It is real. It is awakening. And I feel like if they had not have intervened when they did, because I feel like the entity was already possessing the local homeless, so it would have popped off regardless. It was like they were the last was it is it the Bastilian or they were the last group of people to stand between. Yes. Yeah, they were the last ones to stand between that and from shit turning completely hellish. But like I said, if anybody's never seen this movie, I was one of those who would look at it and piece by piece. It might be on in a John Carpenter marathon or something like that, and I might catch the tail end of it. But once you watch from point A to point B, it's very effective, it's very frightening, and then the trailer itself is even like nerve-wracking. So if you liked The Thing and you liked In the Mouth of Madness, I suggest you watch this one too.
I would say if you like Halloween and you like atmosphere, I think you might like this as well. Which Carpenter's just great at atmosphere in general. But it's isolation horror, which I love. You got a high body count. There's a lot of fucking people in this group of students. So it's not like a group of 3 or 4 people in the fucking church. It's like maybe 10 or something like that within the church. It is a good time.
Yeah, it's a good time. And it's funny. Because there's one scene where, what's his name? He was the Asian guy. I can't think of his name. But he was trying to get away from some of the possessed people. And he was basically trying to get from one side of a wall to another one. He picked up this brick and he started wearing out his person so much. He was so rude and funny throughout the whole thing. So he was probably my favorite character for sure.
Go check that out.
Please check it out. It's worth it. Bear with it. If you want, this 2023 instant gratification, as soon as it comes on, things are happening, then you may be a little put off, but just be patient. Let the movie unfold and tell the damn story. It's good.
And
I'll give it a watch.
And
I'll give it
next.
Woo.
Amityville 2, The Possession.
So, go ahead, Mark.
No, you go. You lead.
No, I was just going to say that, like a lot of people. So Amityville, you know what they're doing with their movies now. It's just getting super ridiculous with the amount of movies that's coming out. They're just so stupid now. Like we just found out that they're coming out with a glory hole one, which is interesting. I think they stopped taking these movies very seriously after part? I don't know, 4, 5. I don't know. But I will say this is my favorite one, even though it does have incest in it. It makes me uncomfortable, but it's one of the most scariest Amityvilles to me. The atmosphere in this is kind of moody. The music is kind of creepy, and there's actual demonic possession. It takes place before the Letzes move in. This telling the story of like Ronnie DeFeo and that family, but they changed the name because I guess legal reasons. But it shows how he got possessed and killed his family. And you think, oh, he's just going to get possessed and kill his family. But no, you actually see monster, demonic transformation, his face changing, the practical effects. You just see his face like transforming, especially towards the end of the film. It's very creepy and kind of disturbing to me. I remember watching this on Sci-Fi Channel, and it stuck with me as a kid. So this is one of my favorite Amityvilles, and I suggest that people check this one out. I promise you, it's not like the cheesy ones that's out now. This is a much more serious one.
I would co-sign all of that and say it's the darkest Amityville sequel out there, because it's based, I'm doing air quotes here, based on actual facts of how the DeFeo murders went down. But it takes it, of course, to a demonic level of, demonic possession, and just seeing how when he goes on that rampage, it's just like you feel for that family, even though they have their issues. But it seems like the house preyed on their issues that they brought into it beginning. You know what I'm saying? Because they had issues going into their house, and I think they were heightened. And then that made it, easier for them to do what it made it easier for the house to do what it needed to do and whatnot, do what it does best. But yeah, I'm going to put hands down the darkest Amityville sequel to date. And yeah, it's serious, effective, and it was a time. And I don't think we would ever get anything serious on this tone with Amityville ever again, because I feel like these catch grab Amityville in name only movies have cheapened the brand. That it's gonna take a Hail Mary to sit there and bring fear back into this franchise.
Yes.
Do you think that they should cut all the bullshit, money grabs for this franchise and really start from the beginning and do it justice and tell a serious story? Or is this so saturated? Okay.
They're tainting the brand, freaking fraud. I am tired of it. This is blasphemous to my damn town. I am so sick of this bullshit.
It's too late.
Do it right. Do a reboot and like it just Glory Hole. Really?
Yeah.
Backpack, Karen.
I think
in the hood.
In the hood. Like, I think it's too late. Like, I feel like this franchise is already tainted. So if they do try to do a new Amityville, people's not going to take it serious. No matter how,
it depends.
That's just my personal opinion, because there's so many, and it's just like everybody's like, child, I'm over it. Or if they hear, a new Amityville film is coming out, depending on how that trailer is going to be, maybe, but people's not going to go and run see this movie.
That's what it's going to be. It's going to come down to who's making it in the trailer.
Yeah.
Which one is Bella Thorne in?
Who?
That's The Awakening.
Bella Thorne. Okay.
That's the one where there's only white kids in the school district, which is a motherfucking lie. Get me out of here.
No, I'm cracking up.
I always tell people. I'm sorry. Go ahead. No, finish.
No, you're good. You're good.
No, I was just saying that I always tell people that, anything past Amityville Dollhouse, the remake, and Amityville The Awakening, it is not official. Anything Amityville Toy House and all this shit is fake. And I don't know who got the rights to the series now, but it's like we can do Amityville Scream Kingz right now if you wanted to.
We can make our own one right now, and it'll be fine. And I feel like ours would do so much better than the ones that's coming up.
I love that. We should just move into a new house. I don't know the storyline. We're moving into a new house in Amityville to work on a project, or we can be doing like a true crime situation and trying to figure out what really happened here. And then
we go with Mike. We go with Mike to his hometown because he's visiting family, right? And then we just like, let's, check out the Amityville house or whatever like that. And then we so happen to go visit it. And then we somehow, I don't know how we're going to get inside, but then once we get inside, it's a wrap. But I think it should start off by us going with Mike to his hometown.
High school reunion, Mike. We coming with you.
It's a chop for me.
Or we can do a live episode of Scream Kingz in the Amityville house, and Mike has connections to his hometown.
Yes.
Why not?
I'm not doing that.
Let's go.
I refuse.
Whatever.
I'm not doing that.
Let's get access into that house, and then that'll be a really cool episode, a live episode in the Amityville house. That is so cool. And then we can have a fish fry.
Come on.
Do y'all realize what episode we're doing? Y'all talking about going in this house and doing a fucking episode.
We'll just drink holy water and make sure that we're in a great space, and we'll have a password to know if someone's possessed or not. Easy.
Okay.
Where they'll know the password though, wouldn't he?
They would. They know everything.
Yeah.
Oh, yikes! Oh well, we'll figure it out. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. Next movie, and our next movie is in number one spot, The Exorcist. Now listen, something almost beyond comprehension is happening to a girl on this street in this house, and the man has been sent for a last resort. The man is the Exorcist. So this movie had people passing out, throwing up, leaving the movie theaters. And I watched this. I'm like, I don't get what was going on with everybody, right? Now, my brother, to this day, He is 11 years older than me. He is still scared of this movie. The Exorcist.
So I will say a lot of my friends that try to get into horror, one of my best friends, Shanice, she don't like this movie at all. She don't find it scary. She's just not, she don't really get into older movies. But I can see how, because she grew up watching horror movies a little later, where she's seen movies a little bit more advanced. Like, for instance, she's seen The Exorcism of Emily Rose before she's seen this. So when you see some movies like that and then go back to The Exorcist, you're just like, okay, that shit was more scarier than this. But people forget that this came out in the 70s, and the shit that they done in this movie was not heard of. I would faint and probably pass the fuck out too if I was born in the 70s and never seen anything like this, and I'm seeing this bitch turn her head around and levitate off her fucking bed, like, and then jam in the crucifix, in that area.
Face in her bloody cooch.
Yes.
Like, that's a lot.
That is
That's
insane. And then having these little girls say like these profanities is wild.
I live for it. That spider walk down them steps,
Yes.
Reagan. That getting up the pea soup, twisting the head around, like Michael said, putting her mom's face in her cooter.
All right, so the version you never seen before, I remember that came out in 2000. And I went to see that because they introduced scenes that wasn't in the original film, which was including the spider walk and a few like flash scenes of the demon Pazuzu. So I always went to see this movie in the theaters when it came back, and I never got a chance. And I bought my first DVD ever was The Exorcist, the one I bought. So I still have it. It flips open, and you open it, and I watched the version you never seen before, and I was shook. That spider walk, this child. And there's a scene where Reagan's in her bed, and the mom opens the door, and you see this quick flash of Pazuzu, and it does the sound effect. That almost gave me a heart attack. So that is the superior version.
I actually saw Repossessed before I saw The Exorcist.
Repossessed?
Yeah. I mean, so I was always raised up on like that version of The Exorcist, the parody and everything like that. But I sat there and watched The Exorcist. And I guess it's the most updated version because it had the spider walk in it and stuff. And it had the flashes of Pazuzu and everything. I watched it like at 3:00 in the morning, which we all know is technically the witching hour. So that was my first time ever watching it from point A to B because I saw pieces of it and everything. And it was terrifying, even for somebody like me. And this is one of the two movies that my dad is like, I think this made him like hate horror. It was this and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Both of those movies just like, no, he said he's never going to watch another horror movie ever again. He lied though, because he watches some horror movies. He'll call me and ask me about them and stuff like that. He's bored, but still, he don't fuck with this shit right here. Not when it comes to the Lord. No.
It's the blueprint for all the Exorcist movies. I mean, well, all the possession movies that we're getting. Yeah. Like all these movies that we're getting now is trying to be this, and they can't.
Do we think it's because this feels a little more realistic? Like it typically is confined, like the horrible scenes are confined to this room with this girl in it, and the shit just happens. Versus like a lot of the movies we like, it's like outlandish shit happening by some demon possessed person. This is just a child who's possessed, stuck in the bed, and is doing shit. And to them, it makes it too real.
That's a good point because most of the times in like modern horror, that bad possession scene that lasts for a couple of scenes. That's not the whole movie. This was literally the movie. Her being possessed in this bed and going through the different stages, seeing her being her skin changing, her body changing, all those things that we don't get to see anymore normally. Because I remember when we saw the Pope's Exorcist, he was already like changed the next day when he was in the bed. So like this really showed those different stages of what the possession journey looks like. And she was innocent and she was white. So the world was definitely shocked that they would do this to a white girl. And so like all those things were great. And then her mom, which she was sort of a bitch. She was sort of a bitch. But like
Chris McNeil was not a bitch. She wasn't a bitch. Chris McNeil.
I don't like her.
I love
Why?
Chris. Chris was trying to figure out. I went to go do a roll and came back, and my daughter is possessed. What the
Yes.
fuck is happening here?
Take care
The
of your
only
kids.
time, first of all, she was there for her daughter. She got her everything she wanted. She let her sleep in her bed. They had a playful relationship, and she had her daughter's back. She was arguing with the baby father on the phone, like, you said you was gonna see her on her birthday, you bit. Like, she was going off. So what are
She
you
was.
talking about?
I just didn't like that she just let her do whatever she wanted to do. She was down in the basement playing with the goddamn Ouija board.
And she went
off
down
the-
there with her. But at that
My
time, I
Chris.
don't think they knew what a Ouija board was, because if she knew what it was, she'd be like, oh, hell no. Like, put that shit back. She was even
That's
interested.
fair.
She's like, oh,
Just
let's
feel
talk
like
to Captain Howdy. Like,
I just feel like Reagan was neglected, and it's all because of Chris.
she had a nanny, too.
Fuck that bitch.
She,
Okay, I'm sorry.
You're not going to
she
come for
was
Chris
too
right now.
much. She was too much in the second movie. It was like, you came back for this, and because huh?
You talking
I'm
about the nanny?
unpopular.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, she was doing the most.
Yeah, I have an unpopular opinion. I actually enjoy the second one, and
Of course you do.
I enjoyed the second one. The ending when she had the necklace and she was just ringing it around in the circle. That's my favorite part of the entire movie.
With the fucking locust.
Yes, I love it.
So,
and then she was hypnosis or whatever you call it.
yeah. I have a soft spot in my heart for that movie, even though I know that movie's trash. I know it's trash, but it's just something about it that I like. I don't know if it's Linda Blair performance. I don't know if it's just that they tried to do something so different from the first one that it just, it tried to do something, I guess, just different. So I don't know. It's a very interesting movie. It's very interesting. I see what they're trying to do. It just didn't hit. It didn't work. I love a chaotic ending. That movie was very chaotic. The ending of that movie was very chaotic, with shit falling apart and breaking, and just a lot of locusts and wind, and it was just a lot happening in that third act. So, yeah. The Heretic is something to be watched at least once.
Yes. I've seen it a few times. It is one of my favorites.
I own it. And everybody's like, why you got that movie? I'm just like, I don't know. I bought it.
I would say that. No, I was going to just say right quick that I feel like the entire Exorcist franchise needs to be watched. Every last one. I haven't seen the prequels yet.
Oh, really? You haven't seen The Beginning or Dominion?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Because it just seems like a bunch of confusion going on there. But I'm gonna sit down one day and watch them. It's not.
Dominion is the original version, and then they redid it and they re-released it because it's two different directors. So the one that was released in theaters was The Beginning, and then we got much later Dominion. So there's a lot of different scenes and stuff in here. They're two different movies, the same movie but two different movies. Very interesting though. It's obviously a prequel to The Exorcist with Father Merrin. So yeah, check them out, Mark. I feel like you'll enjoy one of them.
Okay.
For me, what y'all think about the reboot that's coming for this?
I was going to say the trailer.
What I've heard so far is that the test screenings have been horrible, and they've had 2 test screenings to this point, and they all have been horrible. And it's the guy it's David who did Halloween.
Yeah.
Remakes.
I'm gonna hold my judgment until I see it, because again, we're very desensitized to a lot of shit now versus when this came out, the original. And I know David for his work, so he's gonna try to like add his little sprinkle to it, and I might like it. So I'm just gonna wait and see.
I'm gonna say this. I feel like, because I heard this same stuff too, TaMon. I feel like we are in an era right now where there's so much toxic fandom that people who actually went to go see The Exorcist, what's it called? The Exorcist, whatever it's called. They probably saw David Gordon Green was behind it. believer. And it's like if
Yeah.
when they went to go see, they were like, look, you gave us Halloween Kills and Ends. We hate you. This movie sucks. And we're gonna just make sure everybody gets in there and make sure they say it sucks. We'll find out eventually because allegedly the trailer for the movie is supposed to hit as we're recording this episode. It's supposed to hit this week during Oppenheimer. I'm hearing.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
I'm open to whatever it's going to give us. Of course, we're all going to be there to see it. Hell, we're probably going to cover it. But like, I'm open to whatever they give us. I'm just disappointed that Reagan's not in it, but her mother is in it. And I get what they're doing with that because, you know, the premise, I believe, deals with a Black family, which is interesting. It deals with a Black family and how we perceive, because in the Black church, there is no exorcism rites. So that's going to be interesting to see how they play on that, if they even address that. And
wait, is it a Black Catholic family or is it a Black, I don't know what you Christian? What?
They can be Black and Catholic. So we don't know what their religious thing, but it'll be interesting to see how a non-Catholic Black family adjust or handle this situation. Because I believe the father goes to do research and figure out, has this happened before? And that's how Chris is introduced into this. If you haven't seen all the shows that we talked about on this list, movies that we talked about on this list tonight, make sure you go check them out. They're all worthy. So just a quick recap: 5th place, Night of the Demons; 4th, Evil Dead; Prince of Darkness in 3rd; Amityville Possessed at 2, and of course the king/queen of possession films, The Exorcist, in number 1 spot. So let us know in the comments what you think. Do we miss any? Did you really like any of the ones that we have here? Let us know some of your favorite ones in the comments below. And yeah.
Shout out to the granny. I forgot another possession one. Sorry.
Say that again.
The Granny. That's also a possession movie, sort of, kind of. So shout out to the Granny. Check it out.
And I want to mention Stigmata with Patricia Arquette. That even though Stigmata is not technically possession, by the end of it, she is actually possessed when she's writing on the wall. So
I'm gonna
actually
throw out one more too. Legion.
Ooh,
Legion.
Yeah. And Multiverse of Madness with Marvel. Wanda does possess another version of herself. So that is possession.
And it is a horror movie, people.
It definitely is. It is. Any final thoughts, starting counterclockwise, Mark, on possession films? Possessed, for those who have things left.
Well, when it comes down to possession, it's not my go-to genre though, but when it's done good, it is done damn good. The films that we selected in this episode are all like top tier. That's my thing, top tier. They're very top tier. Start there and work your way backwards. We not lead you astray. And you can find me at The Anti-Critic on Twitter and on Instagram, Miss Next Social Distortion and Marco Estes. And I do have a Blue Sky Threads and Spill, but once I get those together, I will let y'all know. But for right now, this is all y'all get tonight.
You said okay. You said counterclockwise. All right. This is Mike at Thackeray Binks 86. You can find me at People Under the Scares podcast. But in regards to you, the bitch, you got me drinking on this fucking episode. In regards to possession movies, be prepared. Work on your spirit. Work on your relationship with whoever you have a relationship with. Have your tools ready just in case you may have to bop your kid in the face with a crucifix and some holy water. And more power to you. I wish you the best. That's about it.
These movies were great. I, like Mike and Mark said, check out these movies. They're all amazing. Possession horror is not one of the horror, the genre I usually go to as well. But when I do, I tend to go to these type of movies here. But yes, check them all out, and I can't wait for the Exorcist movie to come out in October. So you can find me on Twitter, Bobby Torres with a Z, not an S, People Under the Scares with Michael, and Bobby Likes to Spooky on my YouTube channel. And the altar tapes, I'm there too, hanging around with people in the altar tapes.
And I'm TaMon Kane. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitch, Threads, Spill, and here, of course, on Scream Kingz. I think we can all agree that Possession is not like our top tier or first to go to. And honestly, you may have noticed by our list that we don't have that many in the last 5 years. That's because they all are repeat and recycle trash for the most part. And so there are some very Possession movies that came out recently that are okay, but there's nothing that just blew us out the water, in my opinion. So check out the list that we talked about, and put your stuff below. Like, share, subscribe. Tell your friends, tell your parents, even if they don't like horror, have them like, share, and subscribe, and go watch a Possession movie. Okay, you won't get possessed, or maybe we don't know. But this has been Scream Kingz Possessed episode.
I drink my
Thank
water.
you, streamers, for coming to tune in and hanging out with us, and we will see you next week. Bye.
Peace.